We're back again with binomial distributions, and we need to go over a little bit of notation so we can work with our calculations a little and talk a little bit about the underlying probability. As you remember from earlier work, the lowercase n equals the number of samples earlier, and now it means a very similar thing, but it's the number of trials. So out of all the patients who come into the emergency room, each patient who comes in is a trial, and then there's going to be some aspect of success or failure with that patient, and that'll make it binomial. But the trial is denoted by the lowercase n. X equals success, and then you get a patient who walks into the emergency room and you successfully get that patient admitted under the required time. I'm not going to say what the required time was. It could be 10 minutes, could be 30 minutes, whatever it might be. If it's less than the required time, that patient is a success. And if it's greater than the required time, the patient is not a success or a failure in the admitting time. But that makes it binomial, that there's a fixed condition, success, non-success. P equals the probability, and this is all on slide 5. P equals the probability of success in one of the trials. So let's say we get 10 patients that come through the door, and we are getting 5 of them in under the wire. Well, the likelihood that we're going to admit patients under the wire or be successful with them is 0.5 or 50%. The underlying probability. When you flip a coin, the likelihood of getting heads or tails is 50%. That's the underlying probability. You may call one success, one failure, or heads or tails. It doesn't really matter as long as there's this consistent underlying probability. And Q is the probability of failure. So with our 50% likelihood of having a success, 1.00, which is the maximum any probabilities can be, minus 0.5 equals 0.5. So it's equally likely, 50% likely, that a patient's going to be admitted in time, under the 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever it might be, or over that time. So that's the underlying probability that we've talked about before, and what we're going to be doing with the binomial distribution is looking at, gee, what's the likelihood of getting in under that specific time? What are the boundaries for the time or the number of successes that I could expect to see here out of a given number of trials? So we're going to take a look at that in the next set of slides, but I wanted to give you a little bit of background, and just in summary, n's the number of trials, number of patients coming in. X is the denotes a success, that the patient was admitted under the right time frame. P is the underlying probability or percentage of patients who make that success, and Q, which is 1 minus 0.5 or 1 minus P, is the probability of failure. And in this case I used 50%. It could have been 80% and 20%. It could have been 60 and 40, whatever the probabilities come out to be.